What's up, strikers, and welcome back to the Sharp Corner, YouTube's only channel that provides consistent competitive online gameplay footage for Mario Strikers Battle League. I'm your host, The Sharp. Welcome back to another episode. Strikers, today we have a special treat for you because you are about to witness what I consider to be the epitome of competitive online gameplay between two of the best players in the world today, Zesty and Virtue. Now, they're going to be competing in the EVO tournament, which you've heard me describe from previous episodes. This is a tournament between players from North America and Europe, and they have been hand-selected because they have been recognized and identified by their high skill set and ability. Now, this is the best of 7 matches, and they're using what we're commonly referred to as the competitive rule set. In other words, there are no hyper strikes and there are no items unless one of your players has been the victim of an illegal tackle. Now, some people might say, well, hold on a second, Sharp, you're saying that Zesty and Virtue are some of the best players in the world, but we never see them here on the leaderboard. Well, you might not see them on this leaderboard, not exactly by the names of Virtue and Zesty, but they are on the top of the Discord leaderboard, and I know you've heard me talk about that before, the Mario Strikers Battle League Discord server. There will be a link to the server in the description of this episode. But what Discord has done is they've tried to make up for some of the ways that Mario Strikers Battle League is lacking. You know, a lot of people complain that there was no tournament function on Mario Strikers Battle League. You know, you can play the cup battles, but when it comes to playing against live opponents, there's no tournament function. So what some of the members of Discord did is their organizers created tournaments so that we would have that feature. People complained that there was no spectator function on Mario Strikers Battle League. You know, you can't witness other players performing and demonstrating their ability. So what the folks on Discord did is they record their videos and they post them on Twitch and on YouTube so that you can witness this gameplay, you can enjoy it, you can be entertained, and of course you can learn. So what Discord also did is they have a competitive leaderboard, and it looks like this. And as you will see, Zesty and Virtue are on the top of that leaderboard. Now, this leaderboard is for competitive rule set. This is not hyper strikes, this is not items. This is, again, you're only given items if one of your players suffers an illegal tackle. And these guys are on the top of that. Now, if you remember in my coaching session with Virtue, Virtue compared Super Smash Bros. To Mario Strikers Battle League, which I thought was really odd because I felt like those are two very different games, but the more that I thought about it, the more it makes sense. And I kind of compare these two leaderboards, the one that we have on Mario Strikers Battle League and the one on Discord, to Super Smash Bros. Because in competitive Super Smash Bros., there are some players who prefer to have no items and no interactive environments, right? They're playing on Battlefield because they want skill alone to be the determiner as to who's better. And that's kind of what I compare the Discord leaderboard to, right? There's no hyper strikes or interactive environment. There are no items awarded randomly or just because you're down in score. It's based purely on skill alone. Whereas the Mario Strikers Battle League, it's more like Super Smash Bros. Where you have interactive environments and you have items. Now, some people might say, well, which one's better? Well, that's not for me to say, that's for you to say, right? Some people prefer to have items and hyper strikes. Some people don't. So that's what these two leaderboards really represent. Those who want to have more competitive games where you're basing everything on skill alone, and people who want to have maybe less competitive games, but I get it, they're still competitive, but you have hyper strikes and you have items. And of course, there is strategy involved with using items and getting the hyper strike orb. So that's not to dismiss the regular leaderboard as being non-competitive, right? So what you're about to witness are two fantastic players who are great on the competitive rule set. And I gotta say, I tend to prefer the competitive rule set a little bit more because what I've learned is that being good on standard games does not necessarily transition well over to competitive rule set. Whereas if you're really good with the competitive rule set, that does transition over to the standard games. So there's a little bit more overlap there. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoy this gameplay footage. Again, this is the epitome of competitive online gameplay. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help support it and its content. And without further ado, let's get into the best of 7 matches against these two titans of Mario Strikers Battle League, Virtue and Zesty. All right, friends, and here we are with game number 1. We have Virtue as the Magicians, he's in pink, and we have Zesty with Evolution in the gray on the right, and let's get it on. This is very exciting. Both have Waluigi as captain. Zesty starts off with a dodge, already starting with an exhausted Waluigi. Passes down to one of his toads. He's got what appears to be the same toad on both wings. It looks like to be muscle toads. Virtue's going a little bit of a different route. He's got more of a speedy toad and a peach in the wings. Both have Donkey Kongs in the back. So far, Zesty has made a really quick goal with a lob pass to one of his toads. Toad up to Waluigi with another quick goal. Whew! Tell you what, Zesty has scored 2 quick goals within 16 seconds. Let's see how Virtue responds. Starting off with Waluigi up to Toad. Peach with a quick Titan chip. Whew, look, I mean, these guys play so fast. And puts it in there. Zesty with the ball again. Down to Toad. Toad with a quick pass up to the other Toad, but Virtue, one thing that he's excellent at is shutting down those cross passes. You know, his reaction time is really fantastic. Little Titan chip from Zesty there. Yeah, Virtue's really good at being able to switch players right away and shutting down those cross passes. So Zesty doesn't seem to have any problem responding to that. Virtue with Waluigi. Some fancy dodges there. Tries to do the cross pass up to Peach up at the box, unable to transition. Zesty dodging around. Does the cross pass, but it looks like Waluigi was a little bit too close to Boom Boom, leaving an item behind. Interested to see that. Virtue, Titan Chip, recognizes that Boom Boom doesn't bite for it, tries to pass, but Boom Boom intercepts. Great play by Boom Boom there. And now Virtue back. Waluigi's got the ball. A little bit of dodging there. Up to Peach, who puts it in, and the score goes up from 1 to 2. He is just trailing 1 behind. Zesty back with the ball. Up to Toad. Uses that item. Cross pass over to his other Toad, but once again, Virtue is there. That's interesting. A quick free pass over to Toad. Oh my goodness. What a play. What a play. Does a free pass and nobody's there. Depends on Toad to catch up. He does barely and gets it down for the goal. Fantastic play there. Fantastic play. Virtue back on the attack. A few dodges, gets shut down, but he's moving the ball around, and Toad is the last man standing. Zesty taking full advantage of that. Uses an item on Donkey Kong. Charge pass at the bottom of the box. Gets it in. Zesty up by 1. Whoo! Virtue moving it down to his wing of Peach. Tries to dodge aside, but Zesty shuts it down. Recovers. Waluigi over to Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong up to Toad. But once again, Virtue is able to knock out those long passes. Zesty over to Waluigi. Does it go in? No, it does not. Right there on the line, but Zesty quickly recovers. Donkey Kong over to Toad, down to Toad. We are just working that triangle. Virtue picks up on the pattern, shuts it down, and we have items galore. I mean, the hits are being laid. Why not when you have all those item blocks on the board anyway? Donkey Kong trying to do a quick pass, but Zesty is there. Virtue recovers, up to Waluigi. Waluigi does a tap shot, unable to go in. Virtue still up by 1 with a little over a minute left in the game. Zesty on the attack. Virtue displaying some fantastic defense. Virtue with Waluigi. He's up there hanging out by himself, waiting for some of his players to get up, but does some fancy dodging into a Titan chip. Fantastic play. I thought he was going to... I thought he was going to wait for more players to come on board, but Virtue says, no, sir, I'm going to go ahead and make this happen, and he does. Zesty gets intercepted by Virtue. Virtue once again, Waluigi back down there. Does the quick pass up and puts it in. Virtue is up by 1. The score is 5-4. Zesty back on the attack. Ooh, Virtue with a really great tackle, able to read Zesty with a quick shot. He is now up 6-4. Little hiccup there from the Elgato capture card, but we quickly recover. Thought that was on my end for a second there. Zesty with a quick tap shot from Toad, puts it in there. What a quick game. What a quick game. You know, one thing you may remember from that coaching session I had with Virtue is how important it is to study patterns. And we're seeing that, I think, a little bit here. But Zesty, being who he is able to make the necessary changes to get the ball in the net. We have less than a minute left and less than a goal, or not less than a goal, 1 goal between them. Zesty recovering up to Waluigi. Virtue recovers. Quick wall pass over to Peach. Peach with some dodging, but Zesty's there. Oh man, little breakaway from Zesty. Tries to get the tap shot in, doesn't go in. Boom, boom, comes in. Woo! Nice little team tackle there from Zesty to free the ball from Peach, but Virtue is able to recover another team tackle from Zesty. And yet, somehow, Virtue still had the ball. what we are really seeing here is, again, what happens when you are at the very epitome of competitive gameplay. The ball switches possessions back and forth so quickly, not even I can keep up, and all I'm doing is talking. 4 seconds left. What's going to happen? Oh, yes! The Titan chip doesn't go in. Boom Boom blocks it, but Zesty recovers, and now we have a tie game, and it is a golden goal moment, ladies and gentlemen. Virtue on the attack. No items between them. Quick cross pass. Zesty's there, but Virtue picks up an item. How will he use it? Virtue claims that he likes to use those items strictly on offense. Let's see if we see that here. We do. Titan chip. Yes, sir. And that is the game. Virtue goes up 1-0 over Virtue in this series. Let's see what happens in game 2. Game number 2, best of 7. We have Evolution and Zesty on the left, Virtue on the right. Again, this is the best of 7. Virtue is up by 1, scoring in the golden goal moment there. And let's see how Zesty responds. One thing that we have to remember is that neither of these players are lacking experience when it comes to tournament play. Here we have Zesty thinking about going for the Titan chip, decides against it. And quick pass up, Virtue recovers beautifully. Zesty able to hit the tackle. Waluigi down in the corner. Is he going to go up or is he going to go for the Titan chip? Goes for the Titan chip and makes it. Good little fake out there by Zesty. One of the things we should be learning from these players is that when it comes to the Titan chip, holding that free pass mechanism to fake out your opponent is a must. Are they going to pass? Are you going to Titan chip? You don't know, and you have to play on that. Zesty back on the attack. Woo! Gets in the net. 2-0 against Virtue. Now, if you remember, we saw this happen from Zesty in the last game. He goes ahead early in the game. Can he continue? Or is this going to be a pattern? Virtue going up for the Titan chip does it. Again, we see that same, methodology. Holding down that free pass function, not letting your opponent know if you're going to pass or you're going to Titan chip. Both times the players have gone for the Titan chip. You have to wonder if they're going to pick up on that pattern and adjust accordingly. Zesty. Waluigi, is he going to go for the Titan chip, or is he's going for the chip, but Boom Boom is there. Boom Boom is there. Virtue with the long pass over to Toad, perfect pass over to Waluigi, up to Peach, and makes it in. Virtue tying the game, 2-2. Now we have Zesty going down low. Virtue's there, puts Toad up against the wall. Waluigi on Waluigi. It's a 3 versus 2 situation. Great defense there by Virtue. Donkey Kong able to recover, but Virtue gets it back easily. Virtue going for the Titan chip, but Zesty picks up on it. Quick pass. Oh, but Toad is deep within the box. And Boom Boom is there to recover. Virtue with Peach looking for the pass. Unable to get the perfect pass. Recovered by Zesty. Zesty over to Waluigi. Waluigi, where's he going? Again, is this a Titan chip moment or is this a pass? It's a pass up to Toad. Perfect shot, but Boom Boom's got the good grip, the good reach. Able to shut it down. Now Zesty's back on the attack. Toad over to Waluigi in the corner. Cross little pass over to Toad. Another perfect shot, but Boom Boom on Virtue's side seems to be really coming through in this game. Zesty up to Toad over to Waluigi. Oh my goodness. Boom Boom is coming through like a champ for Virtue. Exactly what he needs in this series. Virtue looking for the quick pass. No, he goes for the shot. Zesty using one of his items on defense. Not something that you see regularly from these top players, as they tend to prefer to use it on offense to create that space for a goal. Speaking of which, Virtue ahead by 1. How will Zesty respond? Quick dodge by Zesty. Zesty's getting the shots, and they're perfect shots. There's no argument there. But Boom Boom is there to take it up. Zesty is back on the attack. And here we saw, for the rarity there, seeing Virtue use the item on defense. But when you're playing against players of this caliber, I think you kind of have to. Virtue giving the ball up due to a tackle. Zesty, Toad over to Waluigi. Waluigi over to Toad, puts it in the net. And there we have it. Less than a minute to play. Tie score. Tie score. Virtue back on offense, but quickly gives it up. Nice to a good read by Zesty there. Toad over to Waluigi. Quick up past the Toad. But Virtue able to shut down the offensive. Oh man, beautiful, beautiful ball handling by Virtue there. Reading the situation, knowing the danger he was in. The decision making from these players, I think, is what's most impressive. Oh, Zesty trying to use that green turtle shell to create some space, but it gets in the way of his shot. You gotta wonder in this part of the game, how is that gonna cost him? So far though, it's not looking bad as he quickly recovers. Oh, but Virtue again using that amazing reaction time to shut down the cross pass. And there is the Titan chip from Virtue. Now again, we did see this last game where Virtue's up, but Zesty's able to recover pretty well. Oh, and we're seeing it here as well. 15 seconds, which is a lifetime for players like this. They've got plenty of time for Virtue to either go ahead by 2 or for Zesty to tie the game. What's going to happen? Zesty on the offense. He's got 7 seconds left. 5 seconds left. Waluigi with a quick cross pass, and there it is. 5-5. Tie game. Tie game. How is Virtue going to respond? Peach has got the ball. Quick pass. Oh, and there it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Virtue bringing it home at the last minute. And he is now up in the series 2-0. Now, I'm not going to claim that this is an upset or a possible upset, but Zesty is ranked #1 on the Discord leaderboards. Let's see what happens in the next match. Okay, game number 3, Zesty versus Virtue. Virtue in the pink, Zesty in the gray. Zesty on the right, Virtue on the left. You're going to see that in the overlay. But Virtue's up by 2 games right now. So he's got to be liking where he is in the series. Virtue on the attack with Peach, but Donkey Kong is there. Donkey Kong up to Waluigi. Not a perfect pass. So Virtue's Donkey Kong was in the way, but Zesty is able to quickly recover. Long pass from Boom Boom over to Virtue. Not able to materialize a goal there. Zesty is on the attack. Donkey Kong with the tackle on Virtue's side. Peach up to Waluigi. Zesty with a long pass over to Waluigi, who's able to dodge the tackle from Donkey Kong, but again, unable to transition that into a goal. Whew! Yes, and there it is. Zesty getting that quick shot from Toad. It puts Boom Boom down, and luckily he is able to recover. Virtue down by 1. Waluigi. Wall pass over to Toad with a perfect pass down to Peach. Peach with some really fancy footwork. And in the middle of all that traffic, able to accomplish the Titan chip to tie up the game. We have 3 minutes left of playtime in this match. Toad versus the world over on Virtue's side of the field. Virtue able to capitalize on that. Get the ball over the Donkey Kong. We do have an illegal tackle, so Virtue is going to get an item if he can grab it, and he does. Waluigi tackled by one of Zesty's beefy Toads. Woo! We have a chain team tackle there by Virtue. A beautiful play. That transitions over into a Titan chip. Let's see how Zesty will respond. His pass is intercepted and Virtue is able to recover. Donkey Kong over to Toad. Zesty attempting to use a banana peel. Misses, but Donkey Kong passes the shot. Or excuse me, catches the shot. Zesty with a quick pass down to Toad to put it in the goal. The game is tied 2-2. Virtue back on the attack. Waluigi over to Peach. Peach dodges. Get a little bit of a boost there. I could have sworn I heard a tackle, but Waluigi remains in possession, but luckily Boom Boom is able to make the catch. Zesty back on the attack. Ooh! And yes, there we go. He had open grass in front of him. The first shot didn't go in, but he got the rebound to put it in. Zesty ahead, 2-3. A few quick tackles. We have a 4-on-3 situation. Yes, sir. Zesty up by 2, able to make a quick goal on Virtue, which is going to be valuable in these later rounds. Virtue on the attack. Virtue over to Peach. Not able to transition, but quickly recovers. Toad with a wall pass, intercepted by Zesty. I mean, it wasn't actually an interception, it's just nobody was there. Zesty with a quick pass from Toad over to Waluigi. Oh, with a beautiful Titan chip. Zesty now up by 3. Up by 3. 2-5 situation here. All right, Zesty able to regain possession. Toad over to Waluigi, but quickly intercepted by Virtue. Virtue, he's got Toad over to Peach. Yes, quick goal. Virtue responds. Only down by 2 now. Is this a comeback for Virtue, or is Zesty going to continue to pull ahead? Donkey Kong over to Toad. Toad up to Waluigi with a pass, but again, Virtue's quick reaction time does him well. Going for a Titan chip with Donkey Kong. You don't see that too often, but these are the professionals able to execute that perfectly. Virtue back on the attack. Oh, but a beautiful team tackle by Zesty. He's going to wait. He's going to wait. Now, we've seen that from gameplay in Virtue before, where he actually waits to see what his opponent's going to do, wait for the shot. Very unorthodox play style, but gives you a great idea of these players' understanding of the game. Zesty now up by 4 with a minute left to play. The question we have here is Virtue going to score twice as many goals in the last minute than he has made in the first 3 minutes? It's hard to believe, especially when Zesty is playing the way that he is. But keep in mind that this is the best of 7 series. So even if this game is a loss for Virtue, he's still up in the series and we still have plenty of Battle League left to play. Zesty trying to use some fancy footwork to free himself, unable to do so. Virtue back on the attack. Waluigi, nobody's there. Looking for the Titan chip? Yes. Yes. I would wager that Virtue is one of the best players in finding a Titan chip where many players would say it does not exist. That man can find a Titan chip as good as a person can find a needle in a haystack, if they're good at finding needles in haystacks. Speaking of Titan chips, there's a great one from Zesty to go up 8-4. His score now doubles that of Virtue. 30 seconds left in this match in the best of 7 series. Virtue's done a good job thus far of holding off the best player on the Discord server. But one thing that we know about these players is you can't keep them down for long. Zesty over to Toad with the quick pass, and Virtue unable to tackle him. This is a rarity for Virtue because he's really good at that quick reaction time and shutting down the cross pass. Virtue looking for the Titan chip, obviously. Oh, Zesty tries to intercept it. Good practice there. We do see that from players at time. But we have 4 seconds left. 9-5. That's how Zesty's working. The game is now over. The last goal does not count. And Zesty responds. And now in the series, it is 2-1. Much more of a series now. Can't wait to see what happens in game number 4. Game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. We have Zesty in the yellow on the left, Virtue on the right in the teal. Again, we're still not seeing any change in teams as you would not expect to. Virtue ahead, 2-1 in the series in this best of 5. Let's see what happens. Zesty once again with the quick goal. This is what we've seen out of 3 of the 4 games thus far. Zesty having the first blood, making the first strike with only 6 seconds on the clock. How will Virtue respond? Ooh, this is a little bit different what we're seeing from Virtue, where he's actually walking his captain down the field. Looks like he's taking a leisurely stroll, quick pass over to Peach, who puts the goal in. You know, Virtue has often emphasized the importance of avoiding predictability, and we certainly saw that in his last play. Zesty using the item on defense because he saw the Titan chip coming. For these players to use items on defense, it must be a situation where they recognize a goal is imminent. Virtue, quick cross pass over to Peach, but Zesty's there. Zesty displaying that quick reaction time. Virtue going for the Titan chip, but not there. A rarity for Virtue. Zesty back on the attack. And he is hammered by Donkey. Up on the wall, no place for him to go. Virtue, Donkey over to Peach. Oh, but Zesty is there to hit the tackle. Quick turnaround, tap shot, doesn't go in. Virtue back on the attack. Looking for someone, but there's no one there. Zesty passes over to Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong over to Toad. A little game of catch taking place as he resets the offense. Toad laying some hits, giving some items like it's Christmas. Virtue saying thank you for the wonderful gift. Recognizes, now again, this is the caliber of player you have to see here. He recognizes that Zesty was going to try to use the perfect tackle to stop the Titan chip, so he just takes a little stroll around the block to give him that extra time he needed to execute. Beautiful, beautiful play by Virtue. Excellent demonstration of ability by these players. Another Titan chip by Virtue. He is up by 2. Zesty back on possession. Zesty over to Toad, intercepted. Virtue, are we going to see another Titan chip? I think we are. Yes, sir, but Zesty could not get that perfect tackle in time to stop it. Virtue up by 3. Call Emerald Lagasse. This man is cooking. Zesty on the attack now. Toad, is he going to go up to the other Toad? Yes, he is. Ball is going everywhere. Zesty ends up with it. Toad over to Waluigi, but Virtue with that quick reaction time knocks him down. Virtue on the attack with Toad up to Peach, but Zesty is able to shut that down quickly. Zesty, we look at his items. He's got the green turtle shell. He's got the star. You have to imagine he's probably saving that, wanting to use the green turtle shell to get a goal before he sets up for the next one. Will he use it here? No, he won't. Oh! Just missed the goal. Virtue with some quick workmanship of his passes. Is he going for the Titan chip? Yes, he is. Zesty trying to use that green turtle shell. You can start to sense desperation in Zesty. Using the green turtle shell on a Titan chip. Using the star. Oh, that is demoralizing. When you are down 4 points, you have a star hoping to narrow the lead a little bit, and for Boom Boom to shut that down. You start to think that this might be Virtue's not just game, but series, especially now that he is up by 5 points. Ladies and gentlemen, the exhibition that we are seeing from Virtue is nothing short than exemplary. This is what competitive gameplay is all about. Another shot goes up 6 points. Someone needs to tell the fat lady to start singing because this game is done, I think. Can Zesty tie the game with 40 seconds left when Virtue is playing the way that he is? Virtue, Donkey Kong over to Waluigi. Waluigi with the Titan chip? Yes, sir. Now, if I had to guess, I think Virtue is even impressed with the way that he's playing right now. Zesty, Waluigi over to Toad. Toad up to his other Toad. Oh no, what a great interception by Virtue. Look at these dodges. Oh! Goodness gracious. That man is dodging himself all the way down the field. Zesty using the star, but doesn't even go for the charge shot. I think he also recognizes when it's done. Normally with these top players, even then you see them playing to the very end, even if they know they're going to win or they're going to lose. But I think at this point, being 8 points ahead, Zesty realizes he just needs to wait and see what happens on the next game. Virtue back on the attack. 5 seconds left. Virtue. Zesty with a goal? No. Virtue's Boom Boom was really playing well that game, to be sure, especially with that star shot that Zesty first tried to make. Okay, so we have Virtue up 3-1 against Zesty in the best of 7. Virtue is 1 game away from knocking this one out. Let's see if he can do it in this next match. And here we are with game number 5. Zesty on the right with Evolution in the gray. Virtue on the left with the Magicians in the pink. Virtue trying to close out the series. Can he do it? Zesty with a quick possession. Toad down to Toad, but Virtue able to intercept with Waluigi. Zesty recovers with Toad, up to Toad, quick pass over to Waluigi, who's going to go for the pass. Looking for some clearance. Not able to convert. Virtue back on offense. Trying to dodge away from Toad, but Zesty is displaying his patience. Oh my goodness, and Waluigi dodging his way to a Titan chip, able to convert. Virtue goes up 1-0. Very rarely have we seen Virtue go score first. Usually it's been Zesty scoring first. Speaking of scoring, Zesty is now tied the score up 1-1. You have to wonder, is that going to have an impact on the end of the game? We're going to have to wait and see. All right, so Virtue, it's a 4 versus 1 kind of situation here. He dances around waiting for his offense to reset, but still unable to recover. Quick tackle from Peach onto Toad. Perfect shot, charge shot. Boom Boom didn't know which way it was going. Virtue up 2-1. Zesty back on the offense. Quick pass up to Toad. Toad down to Waluigi. Waluigi puts it in the goal. Tie game, 2-2. Virtue. Waluigi down to Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong down to Peach. This time Zesty gets the tackle, but Virtue, Toad is laying out his opponents. Zesty still able to keep the ball, trying to dodge his way up the field. Virtue able to read it. Peach up to Waluigi. No. Zesty with Toad to the quick pass. Dashes up to a pass to Toad. But Virtue's Toad reads it. Oh, what an interception by Zesty there. Tries to do a quick shot, but Boom Boom is there. This game is still tied 2-2 with 2.5 minutes left to play in the game. Boom Boom over to Zesty's. Toad up to Toad. Once again, Toad up to Toad. Donkey Kong over to Toad. Down to Waluigi, who does the quick dodge. Quick shot. Zesty goes by up by 1. One of the things that we're seeing is still a sense of calm between both of these players. They are playing their games. Oh, and there it is. Boom Boom unable to grab the ball. Virtue capitalizes on the rebound in his favor. Let's see how Zesty responds. 2 of his players are down. Virtue's Toad is obviously a force to be reckoned with. Not only does it have the speed, but it has the strength. And Virtue's on the attack. Zesty able to reclaim the ball. Quick pass over to Waluigi, but once again, Virtue's Toad is an animal. You need to put a leash on that thing because it's going to hurt someone. Quick pass over to Peach, gets it in the goal. How will Zesty respond? We are seeing Zesty on the defensive here. Normally when you see Zesty play, he is the one who is setting the pace of the game. Not so this time around. We see Virtue setting the pace. And this man is playing to close out the series. Zesty, playing to stay alive. Virtue, Titan chip, yes sir. The thing about Virtue is when he is in those corners, he has absolutely no problem finding a way to make that Titan chip happen. You will not find a player who is more skilled in that than Virtue. Zesty, unable to convert the goal. 1 minute left in play. Using items on defense. Toad to Toad. Toad back to Toad with a quick turnaround pass. Where's he going? Oh, once again, Virtue's Toad is proving to be just as dangerous on defense, than he is on offense. Zesty up to Toad. Toad down to Toad. Quick pass. Quick shot. No, doesn't go in. Virtue, can he hold on to this 2-point lead? Can he expand it? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Virtue now doubling the score of Zesty with 50 seconds left to play. One must imagine that his mouth is salivating at the prospect of defeating the #1 player in the world and advancing in the tournament. Zesty, oh! Almost got a quick goal from Donkey Kong there from midfield. Excuse me, that was Virtue. Virtue on the attack with Waluigi. Titan chip doesn't go in. Boom Boom's not biting this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 23 seconds left on the match with 3 seconds down, or excuse me, 3 points down on Zesty's side. Virtue, quick turnaround and pickup by Peach. But once again, the Toad on Virtue's team is just absolutely unstoppable. Virtue is now up by 4 points. Zesty doing a little dash maneuver, but Zesty is starting to wait it out, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Virtue defeats Zesty 4-1. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed this competitive gameplay footage, and congratulations to Virtue for this excellent display of sportsmanship, skill, ability. Fantastic stuff. I imagine people are going to be paying very close attention to the builds on his characters because they're going to want to mimic this play. And Zesty, great job as well. Fantastic play on your part. How will the tournament continue? We're going to have to wait and see. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed this competitive online gameplay footage. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to help support it and help producing new content. Until next time, I'm The Sharp. Thanks for watching.